I waited for GET for 17 years. I suffered and my son suffered because of it. We could not go on with our life. We were stuck in this marriage. And finally, through Boston Rabbinical Court, I got GET.
When we created the Boston Agunah Taskforce 3 years ago with a grant from the Miriam Fund, our goal was to help women who were suffering from GET abuse and to make the whole process comfortable and user-friendly. We learned a lot since we got started. Firstly, we learned that GET abuse cuts across gender and it cuts across affiliation. But I think the most important thing we learned is that there was a myth out there that it was better to finish the civil divorce before one started at all thinking about a GET. What we found was that when there was a risk that one party would refuse to participate, this plan often backfired. The rabbinical courts don't have the power to require participation. We really need the help of the civil courts if we're going to end GET abuse.
The GetReady initiative is a program to provide draft language that parties can use to address the Jewish divorce issue as part of negotiating their civil divorce. It's language that you can download from our website and incorporate into a separation or divorce decree. And in essence, it provides an opportunity for the couples to agree early on in the process that they will cooperate in delivery of the GET, and that becomes part of the civil agreement. And it's an agreement that the civil courts can enforce.
In my practice in Chicago, I have had judges successfully enforce provisions that require the parties to work in good faith to obtain a GET. And when a husband in one of the cases that I was working in refused to give the GET, the judge was able to use the secular provision to enforce the GET requirement.
So I think at every stage in the process, there are tactics and language that attorneys should be careful to use. In the early stages, when one is negotiating a temporary agreement, one should try to make attendance in Beit Din to discuss the GET matter mandatory, and one should make every effort to ensure that no final agreement is signed until all religious barriers to remarriage have been removed. Mandating the GET in the agreement on pain of contempt is sometimes used, but we would suggest that that really be the last resort.
When I got a GET, it just felt like being released from the prison that I stayed for 17 years. This is my story.
We realize that the Jewish community needs a wide repertoire of responses to this form of domestic abuse. The solution that we're proposing, GetReady, is the insertion of a legal cause into the divorce agreement that helps ensure GET compliance and takes the issue of the GET off the table before it can become a real point of contention between this couple.